Elon Musk gonna put a chip in you? I don't know, bro. I don't
Yo,
know. I don't know
Christian,
what's going on.
what's the point of studying if you have a chip in your brain that has access to internet? What's the point of studying? I just thought
Oh,
about it. So yeah, this is episode 16 of the Flipside podcast. I'm excited to do this. As always, these are blasts. These usually happen like, I don't know, like I enjoy doing these. Like even if today wasn't a long day at all. But even if it was a long day like last week, it's always a thrill doing these. So I'm always pumped to do this. But yeah, how's your week been, Christian?
what a change a week does, eh? What a change a week
Yeah.
happens. I feel great. I feel good. It's been a good week. Long weekend. So today is the 30th of December, 2020. Only one more day left of this absolute shocking year left, and I can't wait for it to be over. But yeah, what a week. So we had a long weekend. Andy and I went fishing on the weekend.
Yes.
That was definitely a first for me. I've never been fishing before. Sunday morning we left at 5 a.m. We were fishing, and then yeah, Monday chill. Just it was just a good weekend. Like good to get out of the house, good to like go on road trips, and then enjoy the Christmas week. How was your week? How was your week?
It was good. It was good. So, dude, 2020 traumatized me. Legit traumatized me. My license got suspended. So I went ahead and appealed it with the court, and I got a court hearing date. Now, behind the appeal letter said if you do appeal it, then your license would come back when the 3 months would start if you fail, like on the date of the court appeal. And I also heard from the lady that yeah, if you want, you could appeal it, and then you could extend your license to the appeal date. Went to the RTA, IMS, RTA, whatever, where the place where we do our license, and I was like, hey, my court appeal date is on the, in 2 months' time. I'm looking to just extend my suspended license. And she said, hey, if your license is suspended, I think you just can't drive until that date. Like, it's just suspended. And I was like, what? I'm pretty sure you can like extend it to the court hearing date because I need the car. It's very important, and that's why I have an appeal case. So it should be extended till the appeal date. But I was just like, even though I knew that I should be getting it, just because I got hit with so many L's this whole year, I was like, holy shit, this might be another L, and I might actually not be able to drive as of today. And then I went in, talked to the lady at the counter, and she's like, okay, cool. And then she called the person, and now my license active. So I have 2 months of driving left, and it was a win. It should have been a guaranteed win. I don't know, I got nervous, but it's just because it's been a year full of L's where I really thought that a definite win could have turned into a loss.
So you went today and got that done?
Yeah.
That's so stupid. There's always two different sides to everything. So one person will tell you one thing, and another person will tell you another thing, and then you're just always running around. And I get you. But you're going to court. Has that sunk in? Like you're going to be sitting there. Surely there'll be like a judge and everything, right? Like these are like real life suits. You're going to be battling your own case.
Apparently, like, this is like a legit thing where like most people would bring like a lawyer with them. Like this is like people would bring a lawyer with them usually. It hasn't sunk in yet because I'm just going to shop on my own. I'm just going to shop on my own. The pros is if I shop on my own, it shows like this is something that I care about. This is something that I got nothing to hide. I'm pretty genuine about my case. I don't think like, dude, I have a 5-year clean record. Whereas if you come with a lawyer, you look like you have something to hide. You would look like you've done something wrong, and you actually lost your license, and now you're trying to fight it back with a lawyer. But the pros is if with a lawyer you have some professional help, they'll be able to like really, really strengthen your case.
So it's also like, because I feel like this is a case where you've lost your license obviously because it was an infringement of whatever, red light speeding, whatever, right? I don't think a lawyer would be as necessary, if that makes sense. Or
Yeah.
it's like what's the lawyer going to do in terms of this particular case? Like you just got to back yourself, bro.
Exactly.
Back yourself and get it done. As all my friends say, just back yourself.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just back yourself.
Dude,
I would never do that. I'd cop the fine. I'd cop it. I'd cop it. That's a
Sorry,
testament to
paid
you.
the fine actually.
Oh, it's already paid.
Yeah.
Oh, Now you just got to show up and just be like, no, you're not taking my license, essentially.
Exactly. You know, I take fault for the mistake, but yo, like this 5-second mistake took 7 points. So in Australia, you lose like a point for speeding, you lose like maybe 3 points for crossing a red light, but I lost 7 points in one go. Just because I'm a P2 driver, I'm a provisional driver, and literally I have a 5-year clean track record, no overspeeding, no nothing, literally nothing. These are my first points I've ever lost in 5 years, and I really need the car just to keep the business running. So yeah, that's going to be the core. And I wrote things out. I'm excited to like see how that plays out. It'll be like a cool experience. Freaking, I'm living out my dream, Christian. You know how I told you I've always wanted to be a lawyer? Now's my freaking chance.
Now you get it. Now you get to experience it. You get to sit down and be your own lawyer, fight your own battles, fight your own cases. But yeah, that's how. So that's going to be 2021 in 2 days. So just like, I don't know, like, so you're going to be starting off your year essentially with this court case in mind. What next? Like, what next? So you got anything else planned? Anything else? Because you know what happened. So last year New Year's Eve, I had Yuvin on. So Yuvin over and one of my other friends over. So they came over, and then it hit midnight, and it was like, oh, okay, New Year's Day, you know, the first is 2020, you know, this is amazing, a new decade, new opportunities. And then one of my friends, Namadev, when he said to Yuvin, all right, you got to play a song now, but and the song that you play next, it can't be crap, because if it's a shit song, you just don't ruin the year. Like, if you play a shit song now, you're going to ruin the year. He just played a normal song, and guess what happened? The year just went downhill from there. What are your hopes and dreams for 2021? What do you hope, or what are you looking forward to? For me, it's just getting over this year. Literally, this year's just been a write-off. Just getting over it. I don't know what to expect though. Like, it's always weird, isn't it? Bringing in the tide of a new year.
Dude, like, just thinking back to like last year, New Year, it felt so long ago. Like, looking back, I was like, holy shit, my circle of friends were completely different to now. I was a completely different person. My persona was I'm like, whoa, holy shit. Just thinking back to me a year ago was like, dude, last year New Year was amidst the bushfires. I remember it was a hot New Year. It was like, yeah, I was like, damn, that felt like, dude. And then we had the bushfires, and we had like floods. And do we have floods, or was that another country?
Yeah, no, we had floods and bushfires. I think Queensland had floods, we had bushfires. It's funny because New Year's Eve, there was actually a fire near my house, and I actually got a text from New South Wales Emergency Services. So, you know, they text you an emergency stuff. Got to look down ages ago for it now, but it's like literally says, be careful. And then because my parents are overseas at the time, and they also got the text, and they messaged me, they're like, are you gonna die? Like, what's going on? Because, you know, they're overseas, they didn't realize it was just a small fire, but they're like, what's going on? You know, there's a fire, are you guys safe? I'm like, it's just weird, eh? So much has happened. You're right, so much has happened. You look back, and you know, when you look back at conversations you've had, or the things that you did, or the people that you were, the people that you talked to, a person that you were, you look back and you're like, oh, I said that, or I did that. But that's growth, isn't it? That's growth.
Yeah, dude, I'm just like stoned right now. Like, I'm just like, wow, holy shit, me a year ago was so different. Like right now, I think I'm going through I'm going through a phase. I'm like really just like having fun. I'm really getting into myself. I'm getting really goofy. I'm getting really like I'm just like more like I'm having fun with myself. Now, I think obviously that's probably going to mold into something in 2021. Now I'm just going through a phase where I'm just like having fun with myself and just being goofy and just goofing off. And like this podcast has helped a lot. It's really allowed me to like show a different persona, because I really did slowly become the YouTuber, the Andy Mai ecom kid, the ecom guy that sort of talked about dropshipping and e-commerce. But this podcast really allowed me to like just like try different personas. But yeah, 2020, I'm excited for 2021. Lots of things. Hopefully the same thing happens where by the end of 2021, I'm like, holy shit, Andy that is talking on episode 16 of the flip side compared to episode freaking 69. Whoa, holy shit, a year time, it will be episode 69. Okay.
Yes, we timed that perfectly. Don't get it too. We timed it perfectly. Isn't that funny? We'll actually have like a recollection as to the days, or like based on the recording, as to what it was like. So, episode 69. Who knows what sort of setup would have or how it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a lot different to what it is now. You know, shout out if anyone wants to get plugged in, the sponsor. You know, we'll hit it up. We'll hit it up.
Good news, guys. The first sponsor, the product actually arrived in my local post office, so I'll go pick it up, and then we could we could all use it. Yeah, I'm excited for that first sponsor.
Yeah,
We'll do like a legit post,
go.
and everyone would like. We'll actually keep the sponsor secret for now. You guys will see it in like a few weeks' time, maybe for episode 20, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll keep it a secret, and then we'll announce it. We'll have to look into it, but yeah, that's what I mean. Like in 60 episodes, we'll be like, oh, it's episode 16, we hit this, or episode 20, we hit this. You know what I mean? And it gives a good like a time lapse.
Oh, whatever. That's gonna be dope. I want to get an editor to do like a weekly time lapse and see how we grow. Dude, I have a feeling. Dude, is it just me, or do you like keep just looking better? Like for some reason I was like, Christian's gonna look so handsome in a year's time. Like Christian in a year's time is gonna look so hot compared to Christian now. And it's weird, like people like us, where we were just like weird kids or like dweebs or whatever. I don't know what to call myself back then. But we just like peak. We just like not like peak. I think that's a word. We not peak. We like maybe we peak. I don't know. We just keep growing as we grow older.
Keep growing. I think keep growing is the best way to put it. Yeah, keep growing, keep maturing, and then keep striving, bro. And then that's going to be Steven as well. Is it alright, Steven?
Yeah, hopefully Steven's like a fresh cat, a little kitten, or like a fresh meat. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's exactly what Steven is. Don't get it twisted, Steven.
So hopefully he gets toughened up, hopefully turns into a man. I was really proud of Steven with what Steven has been able to do over the past week. He's really grown. He's really, he disappointed me. And what do you want to talk about, Christian?
Let's get our mind off this.
But don't worry, Steven's gonna have to work 3 times as hard, and he has to multiply himself. Because we do this thing where every week, out of the 3 interns, each week they track all the different things they do, and it adds up to score. So obviously each things might be worth more than others. So the intern out of the 3, the one that gets the least point has to give $1 to the one that gets the most points. It'll be a group activity. Right now, Steven does have an advantage because he does all the meetings, he does a lot of things for music chess, so he does a lot of things, so he just like racks up a lot of points under himself for his team. So I think Steven has a pretty solid advantage, but eventually with Tony has like 4 gun of the interns underneath him, so Tony can technically just like do nothing and just let his team do everything. So Steven's gonna have to compete against like these 4 kids that are just like hungry. But maybe Steven can really transform Nicholas and Kim and make them really like strong team members. How are you feeling, Steven?
Yeah, I think that's possible. I found out that Kim also has like very similar interests, such as like music tastes that I do. So, good bonding time. And maybe I also want to form a good relationship with my interns, not just like work, no employee relationship. It's good to remember that everyone is human and also treat them like with respect, that type of thing.
Yeah, but you gave them tasks like right off the gate and then they left. You literally just did the opposite of what you just said. You treated them like employees and you just gave them tasks, and she was like, hey, I don't think this is for me. You literally didn't take them out or like even meet them. Did you even meet them in person before you gave them all these tasks? Or like, did you do like a face-to-face call or anything? Or like, did you create any, or was it just an employee to employee relationship?
I feel like it was partly that, but then I also tried to do like an activity with them. And so Juan and I collaborated by playing Among Us with his group. We combined the 2. But then I don't know. Maybe that is partially one of the main reasons why they left, and I'll need to work on that in order to maintain these 2 interns that I have left.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna move on from this before it get into a big circle and go back and circling and chasing our tail.
How's work, Christian?
Work's been, I don't even. It's just going now. It's just going. So I've been working like a lot of extra hours work recently, but you know what? This week I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I worked Christmas morning.
Do you get bonus? Do you get like holiday rates?
Yeah, well, overtime because it's like regulated and everything, so they give us 2 times. So it's like they give us double time. Except
Would you could you clock like 8 hours like on double time?
Only if it's like if they have it available. If management say there's no time available. At the moment there's unlimited, but I'm just like
Dude, what if you clock 24 hours of like 2 time? Double time.
I did that last 3 weeks. I've been doing like 11-hour days, so I just thought this week I'm just gonna kick it.
You know, last week how it was last week? Was it last week counted as like Christmas holiday and stuff? I guess.
Yeah, but I still worked on Christmas Day. I worked 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Damn. Is it?
And then,
on Christmas, would it be like full time or anything?
Nah, just double. It's 2.5, double time and a half.
Oh.
And it sounds good. And then the paycheck comes and then the tax hits and it's like, got taxed a lot. But
yeah, what can you do? Like, for example, if you're like a normal employee and you earn like say 150,000 versus you're an employee that made 80,000, but you made an extra 70,000 in overtime. Is there any difference? Do you get taxed more than the other person?
Yeah, I think you get taxed more on the overtime that you work. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm not too sure, but look, I don't think anyone knows 100% how tax works unless you're like a tax professional, etc. But it's just frustrating, because you put in so many hours and you just get taxed for it. But
I don't think you should stress on it. I think it's actually the same. Like you'll probably, if you earn 150,000 and someone else earned 150,000 base, you earned it with overtime, you'll get taxed the same amount.
The same, yeah. At the end, you get pushed into that bracket anyway, so it kind of does make sense. But
so that means you can put yourself. You're now like for example, now you're that extra higher level earner.
Yeah, I think because the amount that I worked, the managers are like, oh yeah, you pretty much earned more this sem than like us because you have overtime available, because they calculate on a monthly basis, etc. And that's why you get taxed so much. But yeah, it is what it is. Work's been good. But yeah, man, it is what it is. But I was gonna say, have you? We'll move on to some current topics. We'll talk about some current topics. So before I'm scared to circle back. I don't want to circle back onto that thing. You know, did you hear today? 5 people limit.
Whoa! What?
Yeah.
No way.
There's a 5-person limit now in homes for leading up. So this is going to be like the craziest New Year's Eve that everyone's had in Australia, at least. Like,
let me see what my mom sent me. Hey Andy, there's more positive COVID cases in Sydney, including pizza restaurant inside Bankstown Sport Clubs, IKEA store in Rhodes, Basil Centre and others. Please be aware, mum.
Yeah. That's the standard text that I get from my parents as well. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? But 5 people, like, how are people going to celebrate New Year's Eve? What are they going to do? You can't go see you technically can go see the fight. Are there going to be? There will be fireworks, right?
Yeah, I think there's like literally nothing stopping you going to like the beach and stuff, is there?
Oh yeah, that's true. But not many people would do that anyway. So yeah,
nice, easy to find parking.
Yeah, just go to the beach and just kick back. But 5 people, you can't have people in your home more than 5 people unless it's family. That's just mental. That's mental for New Year's Eve. But watch all the people. They'll still have the house parties. I want to see how many people get fined. Like, that'll be good to see on the news the next day. All the fines come through. People jumping the fences, etc. Oh, that would be funny.
But dude, I was looking at the weather for the next fortnight. It's gonna be raining. What the hell? And it's summer. We're in the middle of summer. And it's like sweater weather.
I love sweater weather. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I love the rain. I love the rain. Did you hear on the news? Oh, not on the news, but did you hear? I think we were talking about it the other day, and I read about it recently as well. That apparently China are in talks to, not in talks, but there's like supposed theories of like, what if China build like a super soldier, like a Captain America, but for China?
Yeah.
Like they're talking about creating that, and it's like, what, bro? Just like no one can stop it. No one can stop China. We've said this every time.
What do they do?
China.
Wait, is it real?
I don't know if it's real. I think it's just like speculation and stuff that they're looking to build.
I was like seeing these images of these freaking massive boulder builders back in the day where they were like giant. Like freaking, you could see every muscle, their thighs, their arms were massive. And I'm like, holy shit, we've been really able to push the human body to its limit and really like, that's weird. That's like freak of nature when you get that big and like you look like this balloon. Now, like obviously the ones that look like balloons, you can tell they're on steroids, but the ones that, some of them actually look like it's like muscle. I'm like, damn, that is crazy. I think I've seen things where apparently we could live to like 120, Christian. 150,
I mean, with current technology, we should be able to, in terms of in the future, like it will be a thing, living to 120, 150. But you're right, we're always pushing the boundaries of human limits, of human possibilities, etc. COVID is it's just like God threw COVID to us, be like, all right, settle down, you know, you're getting too advanced, you know, you're getting too ahead, and then now we're back on it. But yeah, so it's like apparently France are looking to improve the physical, cognitive, perceptive, and psychological capabilities of humans. Like, what? Like, why? Like, why do you want to do this? Brain microchips.
To Elon Musk, when he puts that chip in your brain, it's going to be over. You're going to be literally scour the web in your mind.
That's it. It'll be over. It's all like it's going to like all come together like a perfect, like the tip of a pyramid. Like everything's starting here and it goes to come together. You got Apple wanting to make cars, and then Elon Musk gonna put a chip in you. I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on.
What's the point of studying if you have a chip in your brain that has access to internet? What's the point of studying? I just thought about it. Now you might be like, nah, like we're always gonna have to study, but think about this. Freaking 10 years ago, 20 years ago, everyone told you, what's the point of calculating things? You have the calculator. So what's going to happen when you have a chip in your brain that has access to the internet?
So that's the thing. So the way of studying, or the forms of studying, have gradually and drastically improved over time. So you started off with basic, I don't know how Einstein and them did it, eh? They were like literally just looking at the stars and then just started calculating stuff, right? So you had Einstein looking at the stars, or an apple falling from a tree, right? He did his theories, whatever. Yeah, I did pass science.
Newton law, freaking.
Yeah, that's
looking
it.
at like this, maybe the curvature of the earth, whatever, this and that.
Theories of relativity, etc. I passed science. Okay, I did pass science. No one.
The theory of relativity. Remember that like scenario where the teacher like, imagine you are like, you're standing still. Now imagine if you're standing still in a train. And all the kids are like, what?
Honestly, that took me so long to understand. Because I had to physically like think about it. It was like anyway, if you haven't, the theory of relativity is pretty cool. That's the one thing I'll remember. Okay, but you had Einstein and Newton just looking up at the stars, right? Then you had people creating books and textbooks, and then like how our parents studied or learned was they go to school and they had to read the books. How we studied is we started using Google in like primary school, in like year 3, 4. Do you remember Microsoft Publisher?
Yeah. No, actually not.
You would have used Publisher in school, 100%.
Yeah, I think it rings a bell.
Yeah, it's not a thing anymore. But yeah, so we were the first sort of generation to really have our learning being facilitated by technology and using technology, right? Using internet. If they have chips put into your brains, what would be the next phase of studying? This is coming from the guy that owns the domain of studying.com. So what would be the next phase of studying or learning if you can input an inbuilt chip inside of you that has access to, that's 5G inside your brain. You got 5G inside your brain.
Dude, I think like the next thing is like learning how to think. learning how to ask the right questions, learning how to research. Dude, I remember when I was young, my dad was like, learn how to use Google, like freaking learn how to search. I was like, what the hell? Like, and then I eventually told myself, like, yo, girls, freaking learn how to use Google. And I would drum into their heads because kids like don't know how to use Google. Like, that's actually a skill that needs to be learned, I think. That's something people definitely struggle with. I think that's going to be the next thing people learn. But like, just thinking about that, dude, like, you know how you said, like, when we were young, the internet and everything just came when we were literally at the age where we could use it. Like, things are too perfect for us, Christian. Like, I feel like the moment we turn like 30, there's going to be technology to bring us from like 60 to like 90. And when we turn 40, there's going to be technology to take us from 90 to 120. And when we turn 50, there's going to be technology to take us from 150 to 200. And we're maybe never going to die. And if that happens, I'm like, am I in a simulation where things are just so perfectly timed, where like everything just strangely aligned just right, where we're early enough to take the fruits of being an early adopter, but we weren't late enough where we were now like my older cousins, where they're old, they missed the wave, they're now in some corporate job because the internet wasn't around when, like, it's weird how, you know, I was thinking about like, I can't do what I'm doing 5 years ago. Like, if I had to pay 20 employees, it would be impossible. I can't have 20 employees if internet didn't exist. If I didn't have things like Upwork or Skype or Slack to communicate to my team worldwide, I would not be able to afford to hire 20 people in-house.
I was going to say, not only that, but like the way that jobs have steadily been created through online technology as well, it will progress. It will eventually bring about new opportunities as well. But it's weird to think that we don't know what they're going to be, you know what I mean? Like you said, you wouldn't be in the position that you are today. You wouldn't have been doing what you're doing today, right? You would have been a lawyer, because Big Andy would have been a lawyer, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, it's just so weird to think about it like that.
And then what gives me like a step back is like, we think this, but these like 16-year-old TikTokers probably think the same thing. These 16-year-olds are like, damn, I'm on TikTok, I'm getting views so easy. Back in the days, the old OG YouTubers had to grind to get views, hustle for views. I just post like 15-second dancing videos and they go viral. And they're like, damn, I'm born in the right time. And I missed that wave, technically. I'm now the older generation that couldn't take advantage of TikTok because I'm older and I'm less sort of like into that world. And they've been able to really flourish and thrive on TikTok. So I think every generation is always going to feel the same way like us, and every generation is going to be like, I think it's too perfect, where like this may be a simulation.
You know, it would be funny, because in the future, if technology keeps progressing, we could actually create our own simulation.
My like thoughts on like simulation and things, like I feel like we legit could be like our Earth could literally be like a small atom in a water drop. You know, like if we're able to look into a droplet, like look into a river, then from the river break it down to a drop of water, and from the drop of water zoom into it and see all the bacteria inside the drop of water, and zoom into all that and see like the atoms with all the particles that the bacteria is made out of, and then zoom into further, see the atoms and everything, just zooms in. And then we can actually go the other way, where we can zoom out and see like Earth is inside the solar system, inside of the galaxy, inside the ultra galaxy, and inside the freaking universe. Like what? Well, why aren't we a droplet in some bigger? Like why aren't we like an atom in this mass, like some other big water drop?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I'm genuinely surprised. Like, you know all those movies, Avengers and shit, like the event that like aliens just literally drop out of the sky out of nowhere and just start. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. I'm honestly surprised something like that hasn't happened, because we live in such a world where we're also naive. We all don't believe this stuff. Bro, we're so small, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I believe there's stuff out there. I believe that, 100% that one day, bro, one day they're going to come and I'm going to be like, yeah, I told you so, bro. I told you so.
So, like, an ant's lifespan is like 1/20th of ours. Is their day longer? Like, does it, like, let's say a caterpillar their lifespan is 7 days. 7 days, and 7 days they just grow old and die. It's like one whole day, 1/7 of their life, literally like for them it probably feels like 20 years.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like 7 days. It's all perspective at the end of the day, eh? But like,
You know
we
how
only
100
know
years for us feels so long, but from some giant or some alien that lives for 1,000 years, we're probably like an ant where we're just like, damn, we die in 100 years.
But that's because, okay, well, thinking about like outer planetary bodies and stuff, right? So like our days and months and years are measured by the amount of times that we go around the sun every year, right? And how fast we're able to do it.
Yeah.
Other galaxies might have faster rotations, or like they might orbit a different sun. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, the days could well and truly be longer or shorter than ours. And it's like when you see Interstellar. They went to the planet and they spent only like 10-20 minutes there. He came back. His little kids are old, married, and got kids of their
How the
own.
hell does that work? Because I understand how like 1 day on Mars means 2 days on Earth, because like literally it takes twice as long for the sun to move around, so that makes sense. But how the hell do you go on a planet and 1 freaking minute means a whole hour, whole day?
It's well, I think we learnt about it in physics in high school, but yeah, I've forgotten completely because physics, the curriculum, right? But it's more so that, yeah, I want to know how it works. It's definitely, apparently it was quite a scientifically accurate movie, Interstellar. Apparently it was fairly scientifically accurate. Not like obviously 100%, but I remember like learning that, yeah, if you want to watch Interstellar, it's actually fairly scientific. So it's true. Like, I don't know how it works, but like,
time I just realized, even if you had a chip in your brain, you still wouldn't be able to solve a calculus problem. Calculus is something you might still have to learn.
That's true. But what if you're downplaying the impact of technology and how the chip in your brain could literally function in a way where you look at something and it shows out a suggested solution in front of you, those Google Glass. What I'm picturing is like, the Google Glass, how it would come up with like a menu on the glass screen. That minus the glasses, and it's just on your eyes. You got the chip in your brain. You see a problem, and it tells you, "Oh, I got a chip in my brain." And I just think to myself, well, I wonder how much that is, and it immediately just gives up search results as to the product and to how much it would be. Like, that's what I'm picturing it to be, and that's what I mean. Like the next wave of studying, or the next generation, or whoever's growing up with it. Do you reckon they'll ever need to study? Like, how would they? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
I just thought about it. I was like, oh wow. The first thing, I'll give you my train of thought. Like my mind just goes. So I was like, wow. With the chip, dumb people can become smart. Holy crap! If everyone has a chip, now everyone's on the same playing field. So wouldn't it be unfair because now smart people are on the same playing field as like dumb people, and hardworking people are on the same playing field as lazy people? But a metaphor, I always love using metaphors. Right now, the internet sort of did the same thing. The internet put everyone on the same playing field, yet there is still a discrimination of like people who are less successful and people who are more successful. But I do think all these steps bring the inequality closer, because I reckon before the internet, the inequality gap must have been massive, and before like industrialization, it probably would have been bigger. So I think all these things do level things out. There will always still be sort of a level of like discrimination, but the inequality is just going to keep going closer and closer and closer. That's interesting.
I think that's the perfect way to put it. The rise of the internet, the inequality gap was marginally disproportionate in terms of such a big gap, right? But the internet literally provided an opportunity to level it out. You can go to public libraries and access the internet for free, right? Like, in terms of what it provides, it's cost free in this sense, right? You can essentially access the internet for free based on your socioeconomic status, etc., right? But whoever manufactures a chip in the brain, or should have ever become an eventuality, if someone regulates it or like puts a copyright on it, then the inequality gap will remain, because you could just immediately price it at $500,000 or $5,000, whatever you want, and then that's when the inequality will remain. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. You know how like the GDP of like the world just increases over time? Like I swear like eventually the GDP could increase to a point where like our output is enough to just feed everyone in the whole wide world. Like I think that's like truly possible because right now with the internet so many people are being educated. And like for example with Tesla with fuel, eventually everyone's going to be using electric. Electric is free from the sun. Tesla, Elon Musk is going to just like really lower the price of electricity to push out petrol, and like since it's free, even if he charges 1 cent, he'll still make money. But everyone's just like in a capitalistic market with competition, and everyone's trying to like get cheaper than the other person.
Yeah.
And people are trying to get more efficient. So if they're more efficient, then they could sell things for even cheaper and undercut the market. Things will eventually be so cheap where everyone is just like flourishing. And I think we're already seeing that. Like right now, like a lot of people like I should not be flourishing. Like my mum was able to go on a boat and come to Australia, and like that wasn't available like 200 years ago. There was no boats, or there were no electric boats. It was hard to go like to different countries or escape your country. So like eventually the whole world will be like
self-sustaining.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, and it'll make you question about all these things like economics and like capitalism, etc. It'll just eventually just, I don't know, it could, maybe they thought this ages ago as well, but the theory of economics has always been quite pertinent throughout the times, etc. Right? But I get what you mean in terms of, I think the first thing that we should all focus on is like renewable resources, etc. Right? But imagine getting to a point where every country can potentially produce the same amount of output, but I guess that's when the basics of supply and demand come in, etc. But yeah, interesting thoughts.
And it's crazy how like as we get more money, freaking companies find more expensive things to sell to you.
Yeah.
Like
reason being, bro, Apple, the headphones. I need to say they 900. I think AUD $900.
Yeah, 900, 600 AUD, no US, 650, no 549 USD, 900 AUD, something like that. Crazy.
And they're just like regular headphones. They're obviously active noise cancelling, and they might have some sick little features, but like these were like, I don't know, maybe 300 as a maximum that I spent on them, and like they're pretty decent. You know what I mean? Like they do the job. Like they're the same thing. Like who would spend $900 on headphones? And bear in mind, obviously, I do respect and understand that there are industry professionals out there that there are sound engineers that require a really good pair of headphones, but these are just targeted at basic consumers.
Dude, it's crazy. It's sold out. It's sold out in America.
Sold out?
Yeah, sold out till like the next month.
The smartest thing they did is keep the naming convention. They kept it as AirPods, because if they named it Apple headphones, no one's gonna buy it. Everyone wants AirPods. You know what I mean? Like everyone wants AirPods. It's one of those things. It's just, god damn it,
dude,
so
like,
stupid.
A normal car is like say 25,000, and then obviously there's like cheaper cars, but then you can get like a nice luxury car for like 100 grand. Then you could get a supercar for 250 grand, and then there's cars that are like 500 grand that are like, I don't know, like it's freaking like Rolls Royces are like 500 grand. And then you go to like $1 million, you could get like a freaking, like there's like cars that are $1 million. And then there's like freaking fancy like Bugattis that are $2 million. And there's this other car brand that I saw recently that are $4 million.
Yeah, I get you. When you put it in that perspective, it's like creating tiers of luxury and then attaching price. I wonder I don't know. I'll never be able to understand that. It just doesn't make much sense.
The next though is legit. You could get like a private jet that's like 100 million, 500 million, $1 billion jet. And it's just like tiers. So it's like, whoa. Like literally at every single tier, if you want to get like your like the bare minimum, you're always going to be, let's say your rule is I'm always going to spend 10% on like cars. Well, at this point, no matter how much money you make, 10%, you're never going to be able to get to a point where you're going to be spending 1% of your money on cars, because there's always going to be a new car that's worth,
Yeah. I know what you mean. You'll always just end up chasing a tail, and it just, yeah, I get you.
Exactly.
But I think we will wrap it up there for today. I know we're getting into a good conversation as well, but we'll wrap it up there for today. Thank you everyone for listening. I'll let you wrap it up. It's the last episode of 2020. We started this in August, so
Yeah.
it's been a good couple of months. I've enjoyed it very thoroughly.
As Christian said, we've hit the sweet spot. And I really thoroughly enjoyed this. It was good. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. I really, really appreciate it. Actually, let's check the anchor stats. I'm curious to see how the last episode went. Whoa, that's pretty dope. Flipside episode 14, we got 8 plays. That's pretty dope. 12, we got 9. So we got like freaking 8 like core listeners. I really appreciate you guys for listening. Really good. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate the support. Would love, DM Christian. Actually, everyone that's listening to this, DM Christian. Christian, what's your Instagram again? For the listeners.
For the listeners, oh god. Okay, so Instagram handle is my first name, so KRISHN, then another 2 N's, then P. So KRISH, 3 N, then a P. I'm trying to get KRISHNP, but someone's taken it, so I'm stuck with 3 N's. Alright.
See if a dot works. Maybe a dot works. Christian.
Perhaps, yeah.
But hit up Christian, or even hit up me. Just be like, hey, I'm a listener of podcasts. Can you please let Andy know that we really love it? Just send me something, and then my team and I will be able to notice it. But I really appreciate everyone for listening. Thank you so much, guys.
We'll shout you out. If you DM us, we'll shout you out.
100%. Yes, that's it. We'll shout. Hit us with questions. I want to do questions. So DM us with questions, and we answer questions on podcasts. That'll be pretty good. DM Christian and me questions, and we'll answer them. We'll give you a shout out. Really appreciate you for listening. And hope you guys have an amazing 2021. This is going to be released in the new year, but I hope you guys have an amazing year. I'm excited for the new year, guys.
New year, new us. We're gonna have a good conversation about New Year resolutions next episode. So, stay tuned for that, and see you guys next episode.
Peace, everyone.